Good evening, we are your students. I am going to start statistical technique research methods. Now I am sharing the screen. Please wait. Time on the Yes, good afternoon, all. I'm going to start statistical techniques for research methods. So I'm sharing the screen, please. So this is the semester of fourth semester. The topic is skill. This is skill enhancement course for SEEC-2. So all of you go through this. I'm explaining one by one. Okay. But అల్లరి చేయొద్దు. Yes, this is a skill enhancement course. So I'm going to explain the black one, research and sampling. Introduction to research, research process, sampling design, data collection and presentation. The first topic is research and sampling. What does mean research? Why do we do research? These are the main questions takes place. Okay. So what is the research? Why we use the research? So in this unit 1, there are so many topics. Meaning of research, essential character of research, failures of good research, futures of importance of research, based upon the purpose, exploratory research, descriptive research, casual type of research, applied research, basic or fundamental research, quantitative approach, qualitative approach. Based on logic, we can use here inductive type of research, deductive type of research, and other research studies, analytical research, conceptual research, historical research, empirical research, diagnostic research. So all these. So coming to the main objective of research is to learn about research, to know the essential characteristics of research, and to know about the features of good research, importance of research, and what does mean research. In our day-to-day life, we come across many situations where we have to choose one particular course of action out of several alternative course of action available. This decision is to be taken when we do not have complete information about the likely result of our action. In such a situation, we will always be looking for adequate and reliable information that can guide us in taking a correct decision in the given context. The process of gathering, analyzing useful information for a particular purpose or to help in decision making in an uncertain environment can be termed as research. So a student who qualified in the engineering entrance examination may be facing the problem of selecting which institution to join or which particular branch of engineering to select. So for that purpose, we can do the research. What are the main available resources, small alternatives? How can we take the decision that we can study, we can do the research in that purpose. So meaning of research, research is a purposeful, precise and systematic search for relevant information or new knowledge which will help us in solving an immediate problem we are facing. One way is also considered it as a research for truth which is hidden by carrying out a critical inquiry in a systematic manner. Inequitiousness, which is common to all individuals, can be the reason for such an investigation. So, any investigation can be considered to be comprising of three parts. The first one is the problem that initiated the inquiry lies at one end, while the solution or the answer that is proposed lies at the other end. So, in between these two lies the path that is traversed or the road traveled, which is the systematic collection, analysis, and interpretation of relevant information, which led one so which led one. So this is the question to the answer. This can be termed as research. As per the words, one of the scientists says research is essentially an investigation, a recording and analysis of evidence for the purpose of gaining knowledge. So what does mean? Research is an essential investigation, a recording and analysis of evidence for the purpose of gaining knowledge. So this is Robert Bruce says. So this, the main characteristic of research as the research study should aim to achieve a clearly specified or expressed goal. This often called the objective of research. One should have a systematic procedure or plan to follow to achieve the specified objectives. The principal problem that might be complex may be divided into more manageable subproblems or segments. The procedure adapted for solving the problem should be objective and logical. The main features of good research are a systematic and logical procedure should be followed to arrive at the solution. The research procedure that is adapted should be given with sufficient details. The data used should be reliable and valid for the study. The analysis of the data should be adequate and methods of analysis used should be appropriate. And the next one is importance of research. So, in almost all walks of life, as such, one cannot confine research to a particular discipline or topic. In almost all disciplines, be they physical or natural or medical or social and other sciences, different kind of research studies are being conducted, leading to ever expanding of the frontiers of knowledge. As a result, we are witnessing the development of sophisticated equipment, technologies, new kinds of medicines, etc., contributing to the welfare of all the species in general, mankind, and its environment in particular. The next one is types of research. Based on the purpose of the research study, result or outcome of the study, the approach that is used and the logic and that is used are some of the main criteria and used for classification. So this is the one flow chart. All of you go through this. Here, research studies that is divided into exploratory, descriptive, and casual. So, descriptive is divided cross-sectional and longitudinal. So, here, exploratory, descriptive, and casual studies. These three types. So, exploratory means in carrying out some of the research studies, the main idea of the researcher is to get better, adequate, or understanding of research problem. That means the main idea of research is what? First, you understand the problem. Okay? Or identify the key variable that should be included the research study, or formulate the research problem in a precise manner, or develop the research hypothesis. First, identify the problem, and next to study and formulate the research problem and develop one hypothesis. So such research studies are called exploratory studies. So in secondary data analysis, expert surveys, focus group interviews, depth interviews, and case sample sizes are used in these studies. The result of these studies is inclusive, requiring further research. So this means exploratory research. Identify the problem, formulate the problem, then take the decision. And here this is includes non-probabilistic samples with small sample sizes are used in these studies. The result of these studies is inclusive, requiring the further research. And the next one is descriptive research. What does mean descriptive research? Anyone listen this word descriptive? First statistic starts, we can start descriptive statistics. That means mean, median, more like that. Okay. But here in research level, how we define descriptive statistics? Let us let us know about this. In some of the research studies, a research wants to provide an accurate What does mean cross-sectional studies? Have you ever know about this? Cross-sectional studies? When we say the cross-sectional study, here the sample size is 4. So, it is collected from the subjects at a single point of time, while in longitude studies, information collection takes place over a period of time. So, cross-sectional means we collect the information single point of time. Longitude means the name itself included longitude. Longitude. That means it takes place over a period of time. So, single point time, period of time. There may be some difference. So, single point of time is called cross-sectional. Period of time is goes for the longitudinal studies. So, here casual types of research. In some of the studies, the researchers tries to study the influence or effect or manipulations of the values of some factors and another variable, often called the response variable or dependent variable. Such studies are called casual type of research studies. Experiments are used in these studies based on the result or outcome. Depending on the result or outcome of the study, research studies can be classified into applied and basic or fundamental research studies. Applied research. What does mean applied research? To solve an immediate problem in the main reason for undertaking this research. As such, it is designed to solve practical problem rather than acquiring knowledge for knowledge take. These studies are empirical methodologies. So, basic or fundamental research. What does mean? Gaining knowledge for knowledge sake without minding the immediate use of the result is the aim of these studies. They can be regarded as the most academic from the research, academic from the research. It may, so this is, so what does mean basic research? It is regarded most academic form of research. It may be lead to discovery a new idea or explanation of particular topic. Reflection so that an existing methods theory may be examine new environment or different context. Basic approach on approach use. So what are the basic approach of this? Qualitative research, quantitative research. So what does mean quantitative? These are based on a phenomenon that can be measured and the result is expressed in terms of quantitative terms. Quantitative is we can measure and the result also we can give in terms of quantitative terms. The responses obtained are mainly numerically so that they can be easily processed. The result are quantified and interpretation is objective. The type of research is structured and formal. The main focus of these studies on fact and that is. So next one is logic. Qualitative. What does mean qualitative? It is deal with qualitative phenomena like attitude, opinion, perception, behavior, character. It not cannot directly measure. The result of such inquiries is a matter of subjective interpretation. These studies are mainly undertaken when one is looking for research ideas And this approach is somewhat informed and flexible. And what does mean logic? So the deductive types of studies is called logic. Inductive. Inductive is evidential support, that is, we will be proceeding from a specific situation or general situation. We observe a phenomenon for some considerable time and formulate a tentative hypothesis. And if this hypothesis is held to correct in a large number of cases, we may tend to generate a deductive type of research. What does mean deductive type? The premises of a valid deductive argument logically entail the conclusion that is, when the deductive logic is used, we will be proceeding from a general situation to a specific situation. From theory, we formulate hypotheses and try to confirm the theory by experiences experiments of observations. And some research studies based on four major criteria. We also come across these important one. One is analytical research, conceptual research, historical research, empirical research, diagnostic research. These are the five types. What is historical research? These are based on evaluation of evidence and are mainly undertaken to establish facts and draw conclusions about the past. This type of research is mainly based on observations, previous experiences, and experiments. Diagnostic research. It is conducted to determine the frequency with something occurs or frequently with which it associated with some. So some questions. Compare your answer with the one given at the end of the unit. So what is a purposeful and precise inquiry conducted in a systematic manner is called? What is it? Research. And these are the some questions. In examinations, all these questions only you need to answer. So try to all uh, answer these questions and by heart these questions. Please. Now I am going to next topic. Check your progress while seeing these questions. So these are the questions and model questions in examinations. Research process. Next one is research process. BRAOE. So now going to the unit 2. So now I am going to explain unit 2. So what is that? Record. Record ఉంటుంది. So now research process. So the main objective and introduction. So the main research process are formulation, extensive formulation, working hypothesis, research design, and sampling design, all these analysis of data, research problem, research hypothesis, all these we are discussed now. So in the research process, the main introduction is which can be applied. So where in conducting a research study, a researcher follow a series of interrelated steps. What is that? Series of interrelated steps, which can apply called the research process. Series of interrelated steps which can be applied is called the research process. It is not always true that these steps are followed in a sequential order. Sometimes it may become necessary to review the previous step or skip some of the intermediate steps. So what is research process? The first one is formulate the research process, extensive literature review, formulation of the research hypothesis, formulation of the research design, formulation of sampling design, execution of the project and collection of data, editing, coding and preparation of the data matrix, analysis of the data, testing of the hypothesis, generalization and interpretation, and preparation of the report. These are the main 11 topics. 11 steps are very, very important for the research process. పెట్టేసి స్వాతి మేడం కంప్యూటర్ ల్యాబ్ లో. So here, casual type of research. In some of the studies, the researchers tries to study the influence or effect of manipulations in the values of some factors on another variable, often called the response variable or dependent variable. Such studies are called casual type of research. Experiments are used in these studies based on result or outcome, applied research, based on fundamental research, based on the approach used, quantitative research and qualitative research. And we can, what logic we can use, these are the very, very important qualitative research. So these are the very, very important topics. So what is that? So depending on the result or outcome of the study, research studies can be classified applied and basic or fundamental research studies. And what is applied, what is fundamental, and what are the basic? So what is applied research? To solve an immediate problem is the main reason for undertaking this research. As such, it is designed to solve practical problems rather than acquiring knowledge for knowledge's sake. These studies are empirical methodologies. So basic fundamental research means gaining knowledge for knowledge's sake without minding the immediate use of the result is the aim of these studies. They can be regarded as the most academic form of research. It may lead to discovery of a new idea or explanation of a particular topic. Reflection so that an existing theory or technique may be examined in a new environment or different context. So based on the approach used. So based on the approach, research studies can be classified into qualitative and quantitative. So are defined as quantitative means we can measure these all. So qualitative means we cannot measure, we can identify. So like logic and inductive and deductive. So here, so in this research process also, those are included. So now go for the fundamental risk. What are the main research process? How we can define the research process? So let me tell you that. So here, formulation of research problem, execution of the project and collection of data, extensive literature review, development of the working hypothesis, formulation of the research design, formulation of the sampling design, execution of the project and collection of data, editing, coding and preparation of the data, analysis of the data, testing hypothesis, generalization and interpretation, preparation of the report. So what is formulation of the research problem? The main first and foremost problem in any research study is to formulate the problem, which is investigate in a clear and ambiguous terms. A class understanding of the problem is necessary to distinguish what is relevant to us from the irrelevant. For example, I want to study about the accidents of road. I can't take the information of train accidents. So that I want to do the research on road accidents. Means only on the road, signal or place, whatever may be, state, district, area, that next. But chosen problem is what? Road accidents, not train accidents. So that is the main important. Okay. That is relevant and irrelevant. Okay, got it? So generally we will select a broad subject area and divide it into a number of sub areas. From out of these are main investigations. It is always better not to select a controversial topic or an area in which a lot of work is already reported. And research, whatever the problem we are choosing, that should be new one also. Others than if the same we copy, it's no use. Please keep in your mind. The problem should be new. It would not be copied by others. So next one is extensive literature review. So whatever the topic you have chosen, that related review also you must study so that you get the information about the particular topic. So that is one extension literature review. After formulate the research problem, the researcher reviews the conceptual and empirical work already reported. So this will help the researcher in getting a better understanding of the problem he wants to investigate. Not only that, he will help in uh, identifying the gaps in the literature so that the most importance of the study can be adequately justified. So next one is review of the literature enables the researcher to make the hypothesis, means identify the variable to be included in the study. Naturally, he will be expecting some sort of relationship between these variables, or at least he might be having an educated guess as to the likely result of the study that is stated in the form of the working hypothesis. It should be very specific and limited to the piece of work on hand. So the main purpose of the research hypothesis is to keep the researcher focused and guide him asking the right track. Research design formulation. One has to verify the correctness or otherwise of the hypothesis formulated by collecting relevant information. The purpose of formulating a research design is to ensure that the evidence gathered is reliable and appropriate to answer the initial research question. Moreover, it will not help in collection of the information men, men, with minimum amount of resources like effort, time, equipment, etc. It can be considered as plan of what activities we want to undertake. The time and other resources are needed. The type of data we want to collect, key or how we want to collect and process the data, etc. First, we can set the goal. We can set the research problem. Then we need first to review the topic. Then we gain the knowledge about the particular topic, what are the variables are required, how they concluded in the past re- research. Next, we can collect the data. So, okay. So, these are the steps one by one. So, next, sampling design formulation. So, more often researchers take resources or to selection of samples due to paucity of time and other resources. A sampling design in a plan that includes have how he is going to select the form of population. Okay. So that is. Next one is sampling design formulation. How can we? The sampling design should be such that in result in the selection of a representative sample and the sampling error is minimum. Moreover, the proposed design should be practically visible. Execution of the project and collection of the data. So execution of the project along correct lines ensures the data gathered is reliable and adequate for the intent purpose. So it is very important to see that data collection proceeds along the planned lines. Any laxity in the data collection will certainly default the purpose of the research study. Editing, coding, and preparation of the data matrix. Editing in the process of enhancing the quality of the collected data by examining the collected data collection forms for inconsistent, inappropriate, and illegible answers. For ease of processing of the information collected, the responses in the edited data. So here is analysis of data. Analysis of the collect data is very important step. Any research study, it should be well described. The data analysis tool should be selected in the light of the research objectives. So next one is testing of hypothesis. Analysis of the data enable us to examine the validity of the hypothesis formulated earlier. This will result to rejection or non-rejection of the null hypothesis. So next one is generalization and interpretation. So this is in hypothesis is tested and upheld on several occasions, then it is possible for the researcher to arrive at generalization or bulking of theories. Preparation of the research report. How to report, what conclusions to be give for the project is very, very important. A research report is a document that chronicles all the activities done by the researcher in conducting his research study. The various elements of the report should be practiced in a logical order and readily identifiable. It should be simple and precise. Generally, so this is the main analysis of the data, summary of the main results, recommendations and conclusions, references, etc. Data collection forms, tables not included in the main body of the report from the end of the pages. Research report, introduction, formulation methods, all are in front pages. At the last, tables and graphs and results and programs. If required, it require any software, we can place there. So what is research problem? This research problem, we have seen that the formulation of the research problem is first and most important step in any research study. It can be thought of as the axis around which the wheels or cycle of research operations rotate. So to quote Albert So that Albert Einstein says that the formulation of a problem is more important than its solution, which may be merely a matter of mathematical or experimental skill. To raise new quantities, new possibilities, to regard old problem from a new angle requires creative imagination and makes real advancement in sciences. So a research problem has its origin and mind of the researcher because of the a difficulty B is facing either in a practical or theoretical context. By solving a research problem, some contributions is being made to the already existing stock of knowledge. While selecting a research problem, a researcher, so this is, so next one is what is the problem? Actually, what is problem? It refers to the about aspect. So, not satisfied or uncomfortable or about which he is worrying and having doubt. Why is it is important? The answer is this question gives the justification or benefit that is going to accrue either to the individual or the society in large. So, what is the to be done? The answer of this part indicate how the researcher proposes to solve the problem. So, component of research problem. What are the main components? There are certain objects to be achieved. Alternative course of action are available to achieve this objective. There is a doubt as to which of these can be conducted as so that is. So the either an individual or group of individuals are facing the problem. This problem does not occur in isolation for there is an environment surrounding the problem. So step-by-step procedure for selecting research problem. The first point is identify a broad cross in any. So the main contest is divide the sub-areas. That means select the sub-areas which is most interesting to useful. Try to raise research question in selected sub-area. Formulate the objective. Act as the objective and double check them. So now, while selecting a research problem, it is always better to avoid controversial topics and areas in which a lot of work has already been done for uniqueness of the research. The next one is features of good research problem. What are the five some research features? It should be clear. It should be ambiguous. It is based on literature and should be a current interest. It can generate a number of specific research questions and capable of being investigated and by collection of relevant information. Sufficient data for the problem should exist. It can be investigated within the given time with the available resources. Our next one is research hypothesis. What does mean research hypothesis? Is helpful in providing a direction to the investigation. It also gives us idea about the type of data needed for the investigation. It should also lead to specific steps of test of validity. The first one is descriptive hypothesis, relational hypothesis, correlational hypothesis, and causal hypothesis. Next one is testing of research hypothesis. So what are the research descriptive and relational correlator, and these are. So what are the main steps? State the null hypothesis, state the alternative hypothesis, and mention level of significance, and give the test statistics in probability distribution, and mention the decision making under criterion of set null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, and select the research method to collect the observation reflecting the relationship, and collect and analyze empirical data, find the calculated value of the test statistic. So these are the 8 steps are very, very important for do the research. So please check in your progress. There are some questions need to answer and practice. You will get all these in your examination. So go through the topics carefully. If you have any doubts, I'll explain. And next topic is I will start sampling designs. What is sample? What is sampling? What is sample? What is population? A group of individual under study is called population. Population means I need to calculate birth rate of the heterogeneity. I need to calculate mortality rate of Andhra Pradesh. I need to calculate number of infant birth takes place in a hospital in this month. These are undergo for the population. Why we call it is a population? It is more than 30 observation. And only one infant is born. It is not give any information. Okay? We can't do for that information. In a family, it is good. Oh, the certain person have a baby or boy. But in group, we have to express. Today, so many births takes place in this hospital. How you say this word? It's really a woman can give you birth in this day, in this interval time. It is maximum of numbers. We can speak about that problem. So like that. So here we frame what is population. A small part of the population is called sample. Okay. There are also sampling distributions also framed we read in previous chapters. What are the large sample distributions and small sample distributions? These are very, very important. So this is also density function, this is also density function, even though that have some characteristics that one can know it is very, very important. And sampling design. What does mean? In this sampling design, we have advantages of sampling error, probabilistic and non-probabilistic sampling methods, and sampling, simple random sampling, and so now, so what is sample and simple random sampling? These merits and demerits, stratified random sampling, its merits and demerits, systematic sampling, cluster sampling, multi-stage sampling, non-probabilistic sampling methods. Means a inference student can learn this non-parametric and all, but a non-parametric student should also learn the inference also, vice versa. Okay? Then only he can answer this question. So this is not my topic. If you left, he can't understand the further problem. So the main objective of research sampling design is complete enumeration and sampling, study about publication, probabilistic using method, and share events per questions and essay type questions and some objectives. These are very, very important, mark. Please go through this. If you didn't get any answer, ask me. I will write on chat box. Okay. So next one is introduction of the sampling design. Today, this only I will explain and I will close the session. The small portion of the universal that is selected is called a sample, And the number of units in the sample is called sample unit. I already told you. Now, a small part of the population is called sample. So, number of units in the sample pans in the sample is called sample unit. So, what are the main advantages of this sampling? There will be considerable and saving in time, money, and other reasons. It So next one is, as a result of sample survey are more reliable and accurate, we can you utilize the services of all competent and skilled proposal. So here the main advantage is there will be considerable saving time, money, and other resources in a part of sample. The population is studied. The result of a sample survey are more reliable and accurate as we can. So you utilize the services of component and skilled personnel. The unit gets destroyed in supplying the information, then we have no other question except to go in for sample surveys. So generally, sample surveys have more scope compared to a census. Probabilistic and non-probabilistic sampling methods. Probabilistic methods are simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, and systematic sampling. Non-probabilistics are clustering sampling and multi-stage sampling. So these are the probabilistic samplings. And what are the non-probabilistic sampling methods? What is purpose or judgment sampling? Non-probabilistic. Okay. Next one is convenience sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. Quota sampling, snowball sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling, convenience sampling. These are the methods we can use it. So tomorrow I would like to tell other topics. That is, what are the probabilistic samplings? What are the non-probabilistic samplings? Till up to what we learn, what is research, how to select the problem, how to formulate the problem, how to frame the hypothesis. Before the collect the data. So all these are very, very important. So, so I'm closing the session. So if you have any doubts, and let me know about this. Okay. So thank you for giving this opportunity of BRAOU team. I'm very thankful to all host of the BRAOU University. Okay. And tomorrow at the same, I will continue the topic, next topic. So if you have any doubts, please write in chat box. Okay. I'm closing the session. Have found any doubts? Also, please directly ask me or Call me, I will explain each and every topic. But your work is check your progress. Questions should be answered, should be by heart. That only will come in your examination. Make sure you will pass if you read all those questions. Okay.